Welcome guys, welcome back to another series that we will be breaking down and rather exploring this project of what we selected today. So today we have selected this project, Costa Cabana. It's an EC. The sales preview is targeted to be around in December 2025 and the actual booking day is going to be in January 2026. So at this point in time, we have some information in terms of the e-brochure as well as the floor plans and more details about the project. But of course, we are still waiting for the developer's approval so that we are able to share with you. So if let's say you are very keen and would like to explore more about this project, please do reach out to us. Our contact number is here. Then we will be able to share with you. Like this video and also remember to subscribe so that at least when we post something new, it could be easily bounced to you and you can easily reference to them. Once again, my name is Chris.
And I'm Cadell.
So today, let's explore more and share more about this project itself. So Kadea, what do we really know about this project so far?
Okay, so Coastal Cabana is a new EC coming up in Pasir Ris area. So I think this will be quite a hot development. Like everybody is going to be looking at this EC because in Pasir Ris, for the last 12 years, there hasn't been any new EC developments in Pasir Ris. So I think this one, with all the pent-up demand in the Pasir Ris area, I think a lot of people will be looking at this development.
Like what you mentioned, I think for the past 12 years, there's a weak supply, meaning to say there's no EC out there. So demand, if let's say demand is remaining constant, it will definitely will have a lot of pent-up demand like what you mentioned.
Yeah.
So these are something that actually I think this project itself will have a lot of attention, a lot of eyes looking at it, specifically for people who really love Pasir Ris. Location-wise, it's very exciting. I think that later when we go through it, we will share a little bit more on that.
Also a bit more on like the pricing and expected indicative pricing for this development later on.
We have more information on hand, but just that we are unable to really full disclosure at this point in time because I think that the developer haven't give us the green flag to push it out also lah.
Okay, so Chris, maybe you can share with us what are like some of the recent EC launches that happened in Singapore.
For the past 2 years, there's only about 3 EC launches. So we have Auto Place, Novo Place, which is both in Tengah area. And if we're looking at about the east side, there's Aura of Tampines. So fortunately enough, this year actually there's an Auto Place and also an Aura of Tampines that's launched this year. I have buyer actually who bought a unit and managed to secure the unit there. I would say that it's really not easy to secure a unit because that is a very strong demand in the EC market. So much attention has been put into place to say that EC is actually a sure must-buy kind of a product.
I also heard that L'Oreal at Tampines, it was oversubscribed, right?
L'Oreal of Tampines, I think is already sold out already. If we are looking at the current one, we are looking at it, it's already 100% sold. All 760 units fully sold.
Fully sold.
Yes, and in the west side, we are looking at Novo Place. Novo Place have a total of 504 units. It's also fully sold. So the current EC wise, there's only Auto Place, which is also at the Tengah or rather Bukit Batok West area over there, which currently only have 28 units out there for this Auto Place itself.
Because EC is like a subsidized housing from the government and you buy it at a subsidized price, but 10 years later, it actually becomes privatized. So that's what is like the appeal of EC, right?
Yes. Having said that, there's also a lot of eligibility check because it's heavily subsidized by the government, by HDB, etc. So that's why in the point of entry, there's always an eligibility check for that. Not everyone is eligible. There's an income ceiling. There's also a certain criteria, family nucleus, and all these things take into considerations. So if you are considering to look at this Costa Cabana and you would like to find out more, before that happens, probably also do a quick check with your realtor or maybe do also reach out to us. We can do a quick check in terms of your eligibility, your loan size, and getting all the administrative stuff done before we go down to this project itself. So Cadell, actually, have you heard about Cabana EC, which is the Tampines area?
I think the launch was in 2022 and it was also a fully sold out development. Currently, the TOP is going to be quite soon in 2026. Actually, interestingly, for the developer of Coastal Cabana, it's the same developer who actually developed Tenet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So that means they have put in the resources, they finish whatever they have, they put all the resources over to
Costa Cabana.
relocate the heavy truck, all the tractors and all these things over.
So I think more importantly for example, people buying EC, right? You also can have the assurance that the quality and the build finishings of the developments should be more or less there because this developer is also quite a renowned one. Yeah, so actually there were 4 bids for this plot of land at Jalan Loyang Besar, this site, and then the winning bid was by Qingjian Realty and China Communications ZACD Group. It was only a 3.4% gap So anything below 10% or below 5% even is good competition.
And not just that, actually, just to highlight also, there's also a total of 4 bidders, which I would say that there's also a demand, and developer do see the potential in this site itself. That's why they have submitted their bid accordingly.
Right.
Coming to that, Qingjian won. What are the other projects that Qingjian actually have developed?
Actually, Xinjiang developed quite a number of developments in Singapore, and some of them are quite renowned. And they are actually quite well known for their new developments. Like the Arden was actually last year or something. Altura was also last year, and they are all fully sold out developments. So you can tell that this developer, they know what they are doing. I think as a buyer, you also want to know that your developers, they can learn from like their previous like developments, and then they put all the good things into this current development. Yeah.
So I think that it's more of like an experience, like what you say, because I think that actually Qingjian is not a new player in the industry, or rather in the market itself. It has been constantly building up good quality finishings or other projects that is available around the world. So not just that, they also do develop HDB project. I think that if we really go down the list, it's going to be really all the way till nighttime. So yeah, so I think we just focus on these 4, and I believe that there's definitely more projects developed by this developer as well. So Kadel, what are some good informations that you can share with the audience out there for about this project, Costa Cabana?
So for Costa Cabana EC, is actually located along the Jalan Loyang Besar, and is in District 18 of Pasir Ris. So it's actually located right here beside the downtown east and sea horizon, this plot of land over here. So what's good about this is that it's actually a very big plot of land, and it's going to be the biggest EC in Pasir Ris till date, of about 748 units, comprising of 3 to 5 bedroom type units. So some of the units actually, they will have sea views because they are facing all the low rise over here. So if you're talking about sea views, we don't want to promise that all the units have sea views, but definitely some of the units will have these premium sea views depending on the stack that you choose.
Yeah. So as mentioned here, right up north of the site actually is all the low rise unit. Of course, we can do an analysis in terms of that. What is the certain floor level that we can purchase if you really want to see the sea view? Location wise, it's along the Jalan Besar, which is a very good location. If I remember correctly, I think a few years back, this area actually is the open space car park. Yeah, for the downtown East.
Yeah.
So now that they have removed the open space car park, now they're going to have this actual site that is going to be rebuilt into a EC. So you are expecting a lot of units up there. 748 units. I think there's a lot of unit out there.
So, we were again mentioning that it's gonna be the largest EC, right? Actually, right beside Sea Horizon used to be a EC. Currently, I think it just got privatized. It just hit over the 10-year mark, or maybe next year it will be hitting the 10-year mark because its completion was in 2016. The amount of units here is about 400 to 500 units. And it's on a smaller plot of land over here. Like, I think it's quite ideal location for families because you have so many amenities close to MRT, within 1 to 2 km of a couple of good primary schools. So Chris, what do you think of this location?
I think these locations, it give off a lot of good attributes, meaning to say there's a lot of accessibility in terms of like what we mentioned. We have the downtown East Mall, which is right opposite it. I believe that will be a kind of a daily mall. There's also a lot of supermarket out there. There's a lot of lifestyles needs and food eateries all at the downtown East area as well. So apart from that, if you are looking at recreation, Wild Wild Wet and also the downtown East and also all the chalet that is around there. So end of year, I believe there's a lot of people, parents or families gathering around there for, barbecue, for end of year celebration, Christmas party, they will host it there.
It's like a very happy place, a lot of memories there as like kids. So I think it's really quite a good place for families. Or if let's say you are working in the East area near to the Changi Business Park. And also, I think by the time the completion of this development, the Cross Island line should also be completed about there. Yeah, so you have this additional accessibility. So I think the connectivity of this development is really there.
Pasir Ris is actually a stop for the Cross Island line itself. That actually, you can look at it. It will connect all the way up north to the Punggol area as well, or rather down south, you also will connect to the Changi Airport Aviation Park as well. So if you are looking at connectivity to the west side, there is also this Cross Island line will cut through to Hougang, to the northeast line, Ang Mo Kio for the north-south line, and Bright Hill for the Thomson East Coast line, Kings Albert Park for the downtown east line, Clementi for east-west line. So I would say the connectivity out there for Pasir Ris, for for people who are staying in the east, with this cross island line extension, it will be so much easier to travel to the west now. If you look at it in the own stay perspective itself, I think that actually with the circle line, the extension itself is really enhanced the connectivity out there. There's township rejuvenations. I think that will enhance in terms of the price tag of this project itself. For instance, for people who purchase the EC, I think that actually if you are looking at 100 pumps and also many other ECs, upon MOP, some of the owners, they actually do sell their properties and relocate to, another place, or maybe they also could cash out the property and, find something else around the area as well.
Yeah. The profitability of EC is already very well known in the market. Like for example, this year, I'm sure it was in many news articles that the 100 Pumps EC owners, they actually profit about 1 million off their sale.
It was a very interesting sales price during the launch day. And however, when the market actually have moved out, and with the announcement of Cross Island Line itself, which is having an MRT within the walking distance from 100 pumps to the MRT, right?
Yeah.
Actually, it really boosts up a lot in terms of
The value of the
the
property, right?
Yeah. So for some of the launch details, what do we have here?
The preview will start tentatively on the 6th of December, and then the balloting will be on the 12th and 13th of January next year. The booking day will be 17th January of next year.
But this is just a tentative date. So do reach out to us. I mean, definitely we will be able to share with you more details and have more information out there. We will be able to share more. So just now we have spoke about actually the eligibility of buying EC. EC is not something that everyone can buy, right?
Yeah, it's definitely not. I think because it's subsidized housing, right? So I think that the government actually in place a lot of conditions for buyers who can purchase this EC. Yeah, so maybe Chris, you can share with us some of the eligibility conditions if any buyers out there who want to look to purchase an EC.
When it comes to EC, it's an initiative by the HDB itself. So for eligibility, citizenship-wise, we definitely need one Singapore citizen, while the other nucleus can be a Singapore citizen or maybe can be a SPR itself. So we are talking about age. Both parties must be at age 21 and above, or it depends on the situations. Or for those who are married under the joint scheme, there will be 35. Income ceiling, at current point, we are expecting about 16,000 income ceiling for that. So for property ownership, you just make sure that you do not have any overseas property, or rather private residential property. And also you have not bought HDB before, or rather EC before. If, let's say, BTO is one of your first subsidized flat, then you are still eligible to buy EC, but you are under the second timer quota. Which means to say also, when you dispose away your first subsidized property, which is the BTO, there's a resale levy that is payable for that.
Because you're buying another subsidized housing.
Yes, correct. So EC is actually a subsidized flat as well.
Okay, Chris, so if we are looking at financing of EC, can you share with us what are the different payment schemes that we have?
Okay, so for EC purchase, there's two types of payment scheme. There's called the MPS, which is normal payment scheme, which is a progressive payment in terms of like when the milestones hit, the developer will call for funding, then the funding will flow from like our normal private property BUC kind of a concept. Okay, so secondly, there's the other one, there is a deferred payment scheme, which is highly favored by those who are currently staying in the HDB now, and they are also second timer looking to buy into EC.
Yes.
The good thing about deferred payment scheme is that upon the booking of after 20% payment itself, you do not need to make any payment during the construction.
Yes.
But the downside for deferred payment scheme, there will be an additional premium between the normal payment scheme and as well as the deferred payment scheme. So it's estimated about 3 to 5% kind of a range. So it really depends on what the developer announced. So coming back, the main difference, if you come back to the normal payment scheme, it just means that once the foundation is called, the developer will have to call for all these kind of...
This is like the typical progressive payment.
Yes, correct. Right. But for deferred payment scheme itself, there's no need for any payment. So it's only wait under the TOP phase. That's where the developer will call for 65% now.
So am I right to say that the only difference between the normal payment and the deferred payment is that after you pay the 20%, there is no payment required until the TOP for the deferred payment.
Yes.
But just that the pricing will be about 3% higher than the normal pricing.
Yes, correct. There will be a slight premium in terms of increase.
So I think this is quite good for people who already own a HDB and they're already paying a mortgage on their HDB. So instead of having another mortgage for their EC, that is, even though it's progressive payment, they can wait for until the TOP before they make payment lah.
Yes, correct. So when it comes to this kind of second timer who are looking at deferred payment scheme, I would say that based on the experience, I mean the cases that I've been handling, North Gaia actually has TOP. So for my case is that I have to balance out the timeline to make sure that the selling of the current HDB and also to make payment so that you can do your key collections and also move into your EC as well. Although this is highly favored by the second timer, but also you do not need to manage the timeline accordingly on that.
Okay, so that means for like your clients, they only have to move once from their HDB to the EC.
It really depends because I think that in the secondary market, we are talking about resale property. We also say that if you want to sell a property, we also need to ask for the terms and conditions when we are selling a property. We may ask for a 3-month extension, but it's subjected to the future buyer or rather the buyer who bought the unit's approval or rather whether they allowed it.
So it's possible lah, but it also depends on whether like your stars align with the other buyers.
Yes. I would say that it's a little bit more tricky in terms of that. It's very difficult to go through in terms of timeline here in this video. So if let's say they would like to find out more, I mean, can reach out to us for that.
Because I think everybody's situation is very different. So, and in terms of the EC, there's all these different payment schemes like deferred payment. Some people might also need the funds from their current HDB to be used for the EC.
Correct.
So it depends when you want to sell your HDB. So I think these are all very technical and it's better to reach out to someone who actually knows the calculation and the timeline for this EC. So, Chris, what do you think about Coastal Cabana? Share some of like your thoughts and opinions about this development.
So I would say that it's a very, very interesting project. It's in the East Coast area. There's a pent-up demand of 12 years is the previous EC launch. So a lot of people are definitely looking at this plot of land. Furthermore, it's actually very near to the beach, park life, as well as also amenities. You hardly have a EC that is opposite to a mall that is where you can get your daily necessity. Looking at that also, I think that there's also a strong developer portfolios that have been building up. So this developer Qingjian itself is not a new player. It actually has built out quite a lot of projects out there. In terms of total units for this project itself, it's also 748 units. I would say it's really quite a big number of units out there as well. As we all know, there's also a very exciting about the Cross Island Line expansion. Definitely, that will increase the connectivity and the accessibility to the rest, thinking that you are staying in the Pasir Ris, which is a corner or in the east side of Singapore.
Let's say you don't stay in Pasir Ris, you might think that it's like very, very in the east. But to be honest, with the new AYA master plan now that they come up, right, they say that they are going to be building a lot more workplaces in the east, and that's why they also built the Cross Island Line. So I think Pasir Ris is starting to have more and more rejuvenation. So for people looking to purchase like a private condo or a EC in this case, it's actually quite good because it's not just very near to a lot of amenities. It's actually very rare for ECs to be near MRT, to be near malls, and also your walking distance to Pasir Ris Park and the beach. So I think this is where the appeal comes in for a lot of people. I really feel that people who stay in the east, they will like this location a lot.
Definitely. And also one last thing to highlight, what I observe when I visit many of the EC sites is that actually the amenities within the project itself is very family oriented. So you have like a kind of a kids playground, you know, there's a kids pool, function room for kids and all this, like for example what we see from Soul Acres, 100 Palms and many other projects.
I heard that there's a tennis court.
Given that the land size itself, I would think that actually having a tennis court there is definitely feasible there.
So I think for buyers out there, if let's say you are eligible or you want to know if you are eligible, you can always contact us to find out your eligibility for an EC in Singapore. I think this could be a very attractive opportunity for people who want to buy an EC because this is one of the 2 EC that is coming up in the east in the next 2 years. So one of it is this EC and the other one I think should be coming up, I think first quarter of next year. I think Tampines, right?
Yes, that will be in Tampines Street 95.
So these are the only 2 ECs that will be in the east. But this EC, I think definitely want to look out for because even if let's say you want an EC, you will also need to have a look at what your balloting number is. So I would say it's good to try out at least for Coastal Cabana first. So can reach out to us to know your eligibility or actually e-apps are open now. You can always reach out to us to get your e-apps done so that we can quickly do the submission for the balloting.
As I mentioned earlier, actually we have a lot of e-brochure as well as the floor plans and more details about this project. So if you are really keen about to find out more, do reach out to us. We can send it and forward it to you. For instance, if you are someone who are considering to purchase an EC or rather in the property market itself, do reach out to us. We can do an analysis in terms of having a consultation with you and understand your situation and provide a customized plan that will be able to assist you with your property plan. So once again, my name is Chris.
And I'm Cadell.
So we will see you in the next video.
Bye bye.